This video is on solving literal formulas. Literal formulas are equations that have a lot of variables or multiple unknowns in them. This is an example of a literal formula. In this class, what we're going to do is we're going to solve this formula for a given letter. In this problem, we're going to solve v squared equals 2gh for the letter v, or variable v. It's first important to realize how the other parts of the equation are attached. So right here, I see that this is v squared equals 2 times g times h. Just as if we were solving a more simple algebraic equation, like if we were trying to solve 6 equals 2 times x, if there's multiplication, what we're going to do is we're going to divide that out. Similarly, here, since 2 and g are multiplied by h, what we're going to do is simply divide both sides by 2 times g. We undo the operation. We end up with v squared over 2g equals h. That's our solution. Let's look at another problem. This problem is more complicated because there's a fraction involved. The first thing that I want to do is identify where the letter is that I'm solving for, and then remove everything that's affecting that. So I see that b is being added to a, and then the whole thing is being divided by 2. Since dividing by 2 would be my final step, if I knew all of these numbers, if I was evaluating this, dividing by 2 would be my final step, which means undoing that divide by 2 is my first step in solving this equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by the number 2. We get 2a equals lowercase a plus b. Lowercase and uppercase matters. Next, we want to solve for b, so I'm going to subtract lowercase a. We have 2 capital A minus lowercase a. Those are not like terms and cannot be combined. Equals b. There is our solution. This last problem is more complicated yet. We could tackle this a variety of ways in our quest to solve for w, but I want to get rid of this 1/3 and then the m first. So in other words, I'm going to try and isolate the parentheses. Let's take this one step at a time, though it's possible to just take care of the 1/3 m in one fell swoop. So if I'm first getting rid of the 1/3, I know that when I have a fraction multiplied in, to undo that, what I can do is just multiply by the reciprocal. In other words, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. 3 times 1/3 just becomes the number 1. 3n equals 1 times m times t plus w. Divide both sides by m. Since m is multiplied in, we'll divide it out. This gives us 3n divided by m equals t plus w. We've isolated our parentheses. To solve for w, I identify that t is being added in, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply subtract both sides by t. Notice that when we have a fraction minus another number, we can't combine that into one unless we get a common denominator, which I'm not that interested in doing right now. So this is 3n over m minus t equals w. Another way to have done this problem is to take that initial 1/3 m and distribute it through, and then solve for w from there. I will leave that up to you. Thank you.